when you come out the blue and start hearing the bang. Everybody share love the sound. That's why they give you hundreds of pounds. Now you know you can spit this. You got the whole world vibing the same. You ain't doing it to rock and change. You got love for the game.
Welcome to Love of the Game. I'm your host SJ for our NBL1 East show. I'm joined today by Alexander Higgins-Titsha from the Inner West Bulls. Before we start the show, I'd like to thank our major sponsor, Precise Accounting Group, for a dream teammate that will help you get bang for your buck during this tax season. Give the boys from Precise a call. They also help big and small businesses with bookkeeping and payroll needs. So whatever you need, Precise Accounting is your go-to man. Now, Alex, how are you feeling midway through the season?
Yeah, pretty good. Also, thank you for having me on today. But yeah, no, feeling pretty good. Just had a pretty tough doubleheader. Not the best for us, but body's a bit sore. But I'm pretty happy with our team, and I think we'll be fine for the second half of the season.
Yeah, beautiful. We're going to talk about the doubleheader that you guys had this weekend for round 6. But before that, we're going to talk about the NBL1 East landscape for a bit. Yeah. You got the Canberra coming number 1 at the moment. You got Maitland 2nd, Albury 3rd, Manly 4th. Yourself, Inner West Bulls 5th, Centre of Excellence at 6th, Hills Hornets at 7th, and Norths at 8th. How are you guys feeling kind of being at that mid-table team at the moment? What's kind of the message from the coaches to get you guys across the line?
Yeah, well, I know up until this weekend, obviously we lost both our games this weekend. So we were second, 2 days ago. So we hope to get back up there. Obviously Canberra and Maitland obviously lost their first game this weekend. So it says the league, anyone can beat anyone. But now we're hoping to be at top 4, top 2. We just want to keep winning, put these 2 losses behind us and just keep going. But yeah, all the teams around the whole NBL East have gotten stronger. So every week is you never know. You could lose if you're off or other teams are really good. So yeah.
Yeah, looking at the sort of standings, man, every team is sort of competitive, except probably, I'll say, Hornsby and Illawarra with respect. Yeah. But yeah, every other team sort of can beat anyone on their day. Now, I want to talk to you about that Maitland and Hills Hornets result because I was actually at your game, the Inner West Bulls up against Manly, when the Hills Hornets were kind of doing their things in Maitland. Yeah. And it caught a lot of people off guard. Just want to know your take on that and how you kind of see Maitland as being the title favourites, or is it Canberra?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think most of the league probably a bit surprised that Hills beat Maitland, sorry. But obviously they got CB and I forgot the other imports name.
Ish Sanders?
Yeah, Ish Sanders. They're both amazing players. And but yeah, no, Maitland got Will and Matt and stuff. So and their coach is great and they've had the core group of guys for a number of years now. But yeah, no, it's a great win for Hills, and I'm sure that's going to give them a massive confidence boost. And they've been doing pretty well. I think they lost a few, the starting couple of games, but they've been on a bit of a roll as well now. So, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but yeah, it just says that, any team can beat any team any day.
Yeah, I think it's a great shout out to how the league is going too, because Maitland gave Albury the business the last round and then they kind of got humbled a bit. So, kind of shows where the league's at. Exactly. Now, I want to talk about your doubleheader up against Manly and Centre of Excellence because they're pretty much one spot above you and one below you. So, the competition was kind of intense. I want to start off with that Manly game, 82-79.
Yeah.
You had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. What was your biggest takeaways from how Manly played and how you guys kind of impacted the change? Because, look, Mason Bragg was kind of running right at the start, but then you kind of made some adjustments at halftime. How'd that go for you guys?
Obviously, it's a disappointing loss. I don't think I had the best game. I didn't shoot very well. I think it was just a bit harder for me to find my shots and stuff, but I think overall, none of us were happy after that game. Obviously, we only lost by 3 or whatever, but I don't know. We feel like we should have won. That game it wasn't defensively. Watching the game back was not good for us, and we just didn't execute down the stretch. And then obviously, Mason Bragg, he runs the show. He plays 40 minutes, but he's up and down 100% so fast every game. So he really killed us, and he gets someone else going. So it was disappointing, but Manly, they're also a solid team. I think they've won 5 in a row now or 4 in a row now. So obviously, I don't think we get to play them again, but would like to though.
Now, I have to ask, because I know it's a bit of a sour point here, but I think there was about 30 seconds to go and you guys were down, I think 5, and then you hit a clutch 3 to bring it down, and then they hit some free throws, and then with about 3 seconds left, there was all hell broke loose. You guys took a shot, offensive rebound. You kind of came up with the crumbs, took it out, and took the game tying shot. Kind of just ringed out. What was going through your mind at that time when you kind of let it go? Did you know it was good or?
Nah, well, because we got a good shot off. So it didn't go in. Got the O ball, tried to sprint out to the corner, shot a three. I don't think it would have counted anyway. But like, yeah, it missed anyway. But probably I had to shoot it earlier, but obviously I couldn't really see the clock. I was just going off like, oh, we need a three, so I sprinted to the corner. But I don't know, it's disappointing, but yeah, I don't know, it's disappointing, but it's all right.
And I got to ask, like mentally, do you kind of just put that aside, or does it kind of fuel you to go to the next game?
Yeah, we went in with the next game trying like we got to get another win. We can't lose two in a row. But obviously, we end up doing that, but. Yeah, I don't know. We have a rule like 24-hour rule or less than that even. Like you can't be up too high or can't be too low. If it's a win or a loss, you got to be on to the next session or next game. That's what we usually try to follow with.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to take away from that game was literally how late it was. I think at halftime there was a bit of an incident with some water leakage, so the whole court had to get changed. All the commentators, all the camera crew, and things like that. And it was a late finish. Yeah. And I think you could tell a bit because Manly also suffered a loss in their back-to-back. They had to go to Newcastle. So I think that wasn't the best sort of situations for your next game up against the COE. You went down 88-78. You had a wonderful game, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. And you also shot 3 from 6 from the 3. What did you guys take out from that game? And how can you guys as a collective improve? Because I know you have a few injuries, so you're kind of a bit short-handed. How's the team looking to bounce back as they go into round 7?
Yeah, well, COE, they're always, like every year, they're obviously looks like the best young players in the country. So they're going to be good and they're well drilled and everything. It was a pretty close game. We had a bad third quarter, which I think tilted like in their favour a bit, the game. But as a team, I think we played better than we did against Manly. But obviously we have a few injuries, but I don't think it's really an excuse. Like our execution was a bit poor that game as well, and I think we talked about it after the game, and we're going to go into these our 2 training sessions this week to improve for another doubleheader this weekend. So it's going to be important.
Now, personally, on a personal note, you're averaging 18.9 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 1 block, and 2 steals. Just want to know, halfway through the point of this season, how's your game looking, and what are key components that you can look to improve on?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think sometimes inconsistently, I need to remember to, I'm a good rebounder, and some games I like yesterday, I think I had 6, usually on average 8, but I don't know. I think ball handling for me is going to be important to improve on to get to the next level, and sometimes decision-making with passes can be a bit silly. I just need to, be patient on a lot of the time, but I don't know. Besides that, I've been pretty happy with this season, but obviously there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, because anytime I talk to anyone around the league and your name kind of gets brought up, there's a lot of people that are expecting sort of big things from you. They see the talent, they see the game. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Because as you told, it's that consistency. As I said, your averages kind of evened out between the 2 games up against Manly and COE.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk to you about your love of the game for basketball. How did it start and where did it originate from?
Well, the first sports I started playing were like soccer. I played rugby a bit. And I played basketball a little bit when I was, in primary school. But that was just I didn't really play as a team. I just would shoot around my mates. And then once I got to high school in year 7, that's when at Waverley, you got to play sport. And then that's when I started falling in love with basketball. And since year 7, that's been my main sport the whole time. So just literally, since year 7, that's when I guess started taking it seriously and probably fell in love with basketball since then. And then haven't really turned back since then.
So you kind of stopped playing all the other sports, or you kind of still dip your toes in there every now and then?
Oh, yeah. Well, because the school I went to, we had to play, you played basketball as a summer sport, and then in winter was soccer, rugby. So I still played those, but I wasn't mad what team I was in. I pretty much, if I could play basketball the whole time, I would. But basketball was my focus the whole time. But they're still my favorite sports to follow. Obviously, I just don't.
So you kind of got recruited to the Glebes under-18 squad. How did that sort of come about? And where was your mindset at that time? Was your game kind of the finished product, or was there things that you had to improve on to kind of take it to the next level?
Yeah, so I played for Glebe. I don't think they're even a team anymore. two guys I played in high school with. One of the dads was the coach there, and that under 18s team, Div 2, and I was bottom age. I was like 16 or something, and they wanted me to play, so I played there. We're actually all right for like glebe. Like if you ask people, they probably don't even know that's a team. To be honest, I don't think it is a team anymore. Anyway, so yeah, I just played there through one of the dads who I knew, and that's. Oh yeah, my game was not polished whatsoever. I think I was just a bit taller than everyone, and I was all right. I wasn't anything special, but yeah.
And then from there, you kind of made the change over to the Sydney Comets, where you played Youth League and Waratah League. How did that go? And did you kind of feel like your game was elevated and you're getting more noticed?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Then after the glebe, I went to Comets for under 18s, trialed there. I think like that around that time was when I started getting a bit like actually good at basketball, like could compete with other people. So played Comets Youth League for 18, sorry. And then yeah, from there played Youth League 2-3 years. Met a lot of good guys, good coaches, and then in between Comets, I went. Me and my family moved to Melbourne only briefly for like 6 months. My mum got a job down there. Then I played Youth League in Melbourne for like 6 months, only half a season. Then came back and played with Comets.
Yeah, and you make a great point on that because I actually saw a picture of you playing down there in Melbourne with the Melbourne Tigers, and Andrew Gaze was your head coach.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaways from getting coached under Gazy?
Well, yeah, it's pretty cool because like obviously everyone in basketball Australia or even just Australia knows who Andrew Gaze is, and then for him to have him as like our head coach every training session and stuff was really cool. And he's a great coach and also a great guy to obviously get lots of tips off and stuff, and he's a real fiery coach. So it was great to have him as a coach.
If there was one key message that Andrew Gaze gave you that kind of still sticks with you, what would it be? Or even a memory or anything like that?
Well, he would. The good thing that like I like coaches that will proper get onto you, and like he would. So if I'm doing something lazy or doing something that like we've never done, he'll get onto you, and like he always wants you to go 100%. And yeah, it was good. Like some people get offended when coaches like they might kind of blow up at you, but like I don't mind it because the only reason why they're doing that is to help you get better. So yeah, that's always stuck with me.
Yeah, because when you see Gazy, he's always kind of like happy. So I couldn't see him getting too angry and things like that. So, and then after that, the NBL1 East was sort of created, and then the Inner West Bulls, they kind of signed you up. What made you want to go to the Inner West Bulls?
Well, yeah, so NBL1 started, Comets didn't put in a team, so I wanted to play NBL1. I thought like where I was NBL1 ready. DK, Daniel Kim, the coach, hit me up, said, "Oh, you want to come see what we're about?" So I went for a few sessions there, and then yeah, I just was like, "Yep, start here," and played NBL1 that season, which was good.
Now I know Sydney Comets are in the league. Do you ever sort of get that itch to kind of like want to go back, or you're happy at the Inner West Bulls? You're there to stay.
I think just I don't know. We've built since everyone started. Like we've had a core group of guys at Inner West. So like I don't know. I've always just felt like I want to win with Inner West. Like last year we kind of blew it. We had a really good team as well. So I was like, we're going to run it back. And I love the group of guys we have. So yeah, I want to run it back in.
And you mentioned DK. DK at the moment, I saw DK at the game, and he's keeping a close eye on a lot of sort of all the players that he kind of knows and kind of like brought into the system and things like that. What was the key message from DK, or what impressed you the most about DK as a coach?
Oh yeah, he's such a good coach, and also he's just a great guy. Like he's always helped me heavily. He knows I want to get to the next level, and same thing with. He's honest with me when like he tells me exactly what I need to do better or what I did bad and where I need to work at. But also as a coach, he was a great coach and he knows the game really well. Obviously, he was just he's not a coach this year because he got a coaching job in Japan. So that just shows to like how good of a coach he is. But yeah, I love DK and it's an important part of my basketball journey for sure.
Yeah, now DK was in coaching Japan Division 2. They kind of just finished their season, so he's actually back in Australia. And yeah, I've seen him at a few games now, and he's a great bloke. He gives me the time of day too. Kind of just helps me out because, as I said, I'm new to this, trying to promote Australian basketball, and he's kind of like, yeah, man, I love what you're doing, so I appreciate that, DK. Now, I want to talk to you about another player that was at that team last year that's not there anymore, Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Who's a solid vet, and he kind of was very, very big on the Inner West Bulls as a team, as a core, and especially yourself. What did you learn from that 1 year playing with Chris Bryant?
Well, obviously coming over as an import, like he's one of our main players last year. But CB, like on the court, intense, loud, and like he's a great leader as well. And also off the court, he's a great guy. So we had a really good relationship. Obviously, we're not playing together this year, but even though we played in the first game, and like on the court, obviously we're going 100% each other, but like still, he's a great dude, and yeah, he was really important to us last year, and it's good to see him killing it at Hills this year as well.
And when you saw that round 1 matchup, man, did you kind of like smile, circle up? All the boys got G'd up, like, yeah, we got to get this.
Yeah. It's been the last 3 years we've played Hills, but obviously now they had CB who we had last year. Like, yeah, we were talking and stuff before, but yeah, no, it was a good game, and yeah.
Now, I want to talk a bit more about the Inner West Bulls team as a whole. I know you got Zachary Hudson there. He's all out kind of intensity also, kind of just doing his thing when he's on the court. And you got some gritty guards. You got shooters, Omer, Cal. What's the key for this team to gel and kind of work on that chemistry? What kind of makes this team special, like a close-knit brotherhood, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think on and off the court we're really close with each other, and also we've got a few injuries right now, but I'd say one of the deepest teams in the league. Like we got so many guys who just sub in and out. I think that's why we're doing so well. Except this past weekend is that like if someone's tired, you bang straight away. Someone else is in and can keep the intensity up, get can score, play defense and stuff. So yeah, I think our depth is just like really important this year.
Now, I've seen a couple of your games, and you have some sharpshooters in Omar and Cal.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, you got the ball top of the key, 3 seconds left. You see them both open right and left. Who are you passing it to for the game-winning shot?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. They're both, we have, those two are like ridiculous shooters. I don't know. Maybe Jake's jump shot's a little quicker, but I don't know. Ray's taller, so he can get it off over some people. I don't know. That's 50-50. Whoever's more open, a little bit more open, will get the ball.
Yeah, beautiful. That was a bit of a trick question, but I just thought I'd ask. Now, look, your team with the new coach, what's been different with the new coach compared to DK last year?
Obviously Ing he was our assistant last year, so most of the boys are pretty familiar with him already, so it wasn't that much of a change, and he's added a couple of new things in as well, and he's a bit different coaching style to DK, but he's been really good, and I don't know, we're doing pretty well. We're all gelling pretty well, and I don't know. I think it wasn't too hard of a change because obviously Ing was around the whole team last year and knows most of us and knows the stuff we were doing last year, so it's been a pretty easy change.
Now, last year you also had a bit of a venture down there at the Basketball African League.
Yeah.
You played in the qualifiers for Bangor Sporting Club.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because you guys actually did win the league. You were averaging around 11 points a game, 6 rebounds, shooting at about 56%. What was that experience like playing overseas for the first time?
Oh yeah, it was pretty amazing experience. So the way I got over there was Liz Mills, who's Australian women coach who coached in Africa. She hit me up, said, "Do you want to come over play in this this tournament for Bangui?" We played over there. It's so the tournament I played in was the BAL, which is going on right now, is to qualify for that. So like our team. So each country, whoever won their league, goes in this tournament to play in the big league, which is going on now. We had a great team. Our local guys were really good. We had people that played in Europe and stuff. There was a couple of Australian dudes. It was a crazy experience. Hardcore basketball. Basketball over there is really physical. So it was really good, and to win it as well for like a smaller country, it meant a lot for the boys that are from that country as well. And it was an awesome experience.
So it was kind of like the Champions League qualifiers, if that makes sense in the soccer.
Yeah.
And look, as you said, you didn't sort of play in the tournament. Was there a reason for that? Like, how come you didn't go back and play in the actual BAL tournament?
Yeah, so the actual BAL is going on now. So it's disappointing. The team also a lot of them hadn't paid a lot of the players yet, hadn't paid the coaches. So like we got paid like our first payment, and then they just hasn't paid us yet. So we're still waiting for that. So obviously like Liz Mills, the coach, is like, she's a great coach, and she's coached in Africa at every level, the BAL level. So it's something weird that they slighted her and the other coaches and all their players by not paying them. So Liz was like, she doesn't want to go back, and that was the reason why I was there. So I was like, I don't really want to go back either if that's how they're going to treat the players. But yeah.
Now, that was your first sort of opportunity to play overseas. Did you kind of get that bug where, look, you actually do want to sort of build a career and play overseas and go to these different countries? Because I know there's a lot of leagues and a lot of players that go to sort of like Turkey, Russia, Spain, and things like that. Is that something that kind of caught your eye after that experience?
Yeah, it's definitely like an option for sure. Like obviously, I want to play NBL. That's the main goal, but I would never be not open to going overseas because there's like even in the tournament I was playing, like there's some high level import guys who some guys have even played the NBA, some guys play in Europe all the time. So it's high level basketball. So yeah, 100% open to doing that again.
And if you were to kind of categorize your game, would you kind of call yourself a stretch 4 or a 5? Like, what would your position be?
Yeah, I'd say like either a stretch 4 or even the 3. Like I'm not for my team. I'm not really playing the 3 or the guard position, but I think I can play the 3. But yeah, 3 and 4 is where I reckon I fit in well.
Beautiful. And also during this whole experience, you kind of got a little modeling career going on.
Yeah.
How did that kind of come about, and how did it? Yeah, how are you enjoying that? Like, is that kind of something you're looking to do career wise, or is it just sort of a bit of fun on the side?
Nah. So yeah, it's how I started doing it is like my mum had like a friend that needed like someone to model in, and I was like, yeah, mom's like, are you gonna do it? I was like, yeah, sweet. And it was easy. That was like more chill, and then from there was with a modeling agency, and then yeah, now I'm just with a modeling agency. And like for me, it's not a career. I'm not the most serious. For me, it's more sporadic. Like I don't get jobs all the time, but when I do,
Yeah.
I do it because like it's fun and yeah.
Now, I've got to ask you, look, because I kind of have my own program where I kind of help young people find work and employment, and we kind of have like suits and stuff that we provide. So
Yeah.
we do have a lot of sort of programs where we kind of like to build these guys' confidence. So I actually ask them, hey, man, we're actually going to do a fashion show. Do you want to
Yeah.
jump on? A lot of them get really, really nervous. So I was
Yeah.
like, one day I was like, you know what, boys, I'll do it with you. And bro, I was shitting bricks. So I need to ask you, bro, what advice should I give to these kids when they're kind of getting out there on the catwalk?
Oh, it's kind of like the first time I did it, I was like, I was nervous and stuff. Then after you do it like once, you're like, it's all good. You can just like it's not that big of a deal, and I don't know. After you do it once, I feel like I think that's with everything that once you realize that it's not as bad as you think it is, then your confidence goes like, yeah, it's just like doing anything else. I think it's like riding a bike. I reckon like once you got it, and your confidence is there, and then yeah.
So I got to ask, what would you get more nervous at, a basketball game or before you kind of get out there on the catwalk?
Nah, definitely a basketball game. I reckon if it's a
Yeah.
big game, then I'm probably more nervous for that. I might not show it, but I would be, or like thinking about it more. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And do you have any sort of pre-game rituals, any music, any foods you eat? Like, what's your sort of week? Say, for example, you're versing Illawarra this week. How's your week looking?
Pre-game. I don't know. I probably just listen to music maybe, but like some games I don't though. I know I'm not the most superstitious person. So yeah, I actually not really that superstitious. Well, I always like to get a good feed in like a little bit before, and then just pretty much just relax. Like the day of, I might go shoot around, but that's about it. I don't really like to do anything. Usually have a nap. I usually have a nap before every game as well.
Oh, beautiful. What sort of music do you listen to? What's your genre?
Yeah, hip hop.
Hip hop. Beautiful. Now, I know you're big on other sports, as you mentioned before. Your NBA team, the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
How are they looking at the moment?
No, they're not that good. I just want them to blow up the team, like do a full rebuild. Like we have good players. I like a lot of the players, but like it hasn't worked for the last like 3-4 years. So I reckon we just keep a couple, start trading, get some picks, and just reset. That's what I want. Because like every year, it's like I'm playing 9th or 10th.
Yeah. Look, and honestly, because I know my other mates is a Chicago Bulls fan, and he says the same thing. And it irritates the shit out of me because I'm a Detroit Pistons fan.
Yeah.
I would love what you guys have to just be competitive
Yeah.
and challenge for that sort of spots.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if, for example, Zach LaVine, you trade him.
Yeah, he's been wanting to go for like the last like 2-3 years. So I reckon, just let him go. And then we get some picks in, or maybe get another player or something. But I reckon just let him go because I don't know. It hasn't been working. Like it just
Yeah,
hasn't.
now the Detroit Pistons got shafted again. This
Yeah, I
draft
saw that.
pick, man. So, bro, all the
Yeah,
boys are giving me crap about it, but yeah, it is what it is.
yeah,
Now, Chelsea, they're not going too well also themselves.
yeah. So Chelsea in the Premier League, yeah, that's my team. I've followed them since I've been so young as well. Last couple of years has been bad as well. We got a lot of good young players, but we're above Man United, so that's like I don't mind. But yeah, I don't know. I think I think we'll do well in the next couple of years. We have heaps of good young players, but I think also need to get some like
Now, I'm an
motivation.
LFC fan. I go for Liverpool,
Yeah,
and that Demba Ba incident with that Steven Gerrard thing a few years
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
still breaks my heart.
The
So,
slip.
but whenever we're in doubt, we can always just say we're better than Man United at the moment. So, it kind of
Exactly.
keeps us going. Now, I want to talk about one of your teams that are successful,
Yeah,
the Sydney Roosters.
yeah,
They're flying high this year.
yeah.
What's impressed you the most about their squad?
I think the young players and also the start of the season we were looking a bit shaky. Then everyone came back. Like we signed Dom Young, Spencer Leniu, who were really good. And then like Angus Crichton, who I don't know what he had. I heard lots of rumors of whatever happened to him before, but now he's on fire. Hopefully he plays Origin. But yeah, I don't know. They're doing really well. I know we're going to lose a couple of players next year, but I'm excited. And we signed David Fafita, so I cannot complain at all. And I
Yeah,
think
a lot of
we've
people.
last 3 games destroyed teams, so can't complain.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying what Angus Crichton was on last year was performance enhancing drugs, because
Yeah,
he's come out this year and just been balling
yeah,
out, and
yeah,
yeah, yeah, to the mix too. But yeah, that team's looking good.
yeah.
Now, if I was to ask you, out of those three teams, which one would you most enjoy a title for? Who would you pick?
I think it would have to be the Bulls, just because like they haven't won in ages. Like Roosters been winning recently. Chelsea Champions League like 3 years ago, and we won the like. So they've won recently. The Bulls haven't won in ages, so it'd have to be Chicago. It'd have to be Chicago. I think out of the three, it's probably the hardest out of the three of them to win. So I'd say Chicago.
And who was your NBA guy growing up? Like, who did you kind of like mold your game around, or who was kind of that player you go, you know what, I want to sort of mold myself around this guy?
Yeah, I think KD's obviously he was just one of my favorites to watch as a player, and then Giannis, even when he was like first in the league, I don't know why, but there was something about Giannis, and then he became like what he is. So they're probably two of my favorite players as well to watch.
And it's kind of weird because I kind of do see similarities between your game with the length, the size,
Yeah,
especially Giannis. Giannis is a great comparison there.
yeah,
Um, and your NBA Dream Five with yourself included, and you got to slot yourself into a certain position.
yeah.
What would that lineup look like
Like all time.
all time? So if I was to say, you know what, Alex, you could create your own Dream Five to go up against the Monstars. Who would you pick and why?
Okay,
So who would be your point guard?
yeah, Steph Curry for sure, 100%.
Shooting
Um,
guard?
yeah, shooting guard, big Jordan. Then I'd have like me at the three, then KD before, and then center. I don't know, maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or
Nice, nice.
Shaq.
That's
Yeah,
a solid team. That's a solid
yeah,
team. Now look, you got your game up and coming against Illawarra. What's
yeah,
the mindset like before you go into that game? Because yeah, look, as I said, they just claimed their first victory over
yeah.
also the winless Hornsby. Does your mindset change heading into this game, or are you guys kind of all guns blazing, trying to just focus and get back on winning ways?
Yeah, I just want to win. That's like we obviously played them already and we won by a lot, but that doesn't mean like we were just on that day as well. So I don't expect us to win by that much, but I do hope we can get it done again. I think they signed a new player as well who's been doing pretty well this weekend. What I've seen, I think
Yeah,
he's
Riley Abercrombie, is that the one?
I think they saw someone else as well now.
Mm.
But yeah,
Um,
so I just hope we just got to get it done. We got Maitland the game after, so we just got to make sure we've had a good week of training and hopefully get both the wins.
Beautiful. And to summarize it all, our love of the game final question of the day is: in 2 years' time, where does Alexander Higgins-Titsha want to be?
Hopefully playing in the NBL. That would be the goal for sure.
No, beautiful. No, I appreciate it so much. Appreciate for joining the show. And love your game. Love everything that you're about. I love your smile when you kind of go into the stands, the fans. You kind of interact well with everyone. So appreciate that. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate what you're doing for NBL1 East as well. Awesome.
Uh, No, thank you, and I'll catch up with the post game interview. I was gonna ask you for a post game interview last game, but after
Yeah.
that tough loss and the lay, I was like, nah, you know what, you got it back to back tomorrow. I'll let it go.
Yeah.
Nah, take care then. I'll talk
All
soon.
right. Thanks.